Alright everyone, there's a link in the description of this video showing yet another Joe Biden rally, and I'm scratching my head because I don't think that I've seen footage of a single Biden rally over the last 6 months, indoors, outdoors, anything like that, that had more than 100 or so people at them. I really haven't. Again, link in the description, you'll see him, he's reading off a teleprompter, it's the big screen behind some people, and there's like 10 people there. It looks like half of them aren't even really paying attention to them. It's more like a little mini tailgating party, probably at a mini keg or something. Can I ask how it's possible to reconcile this? And it's repeated. It's not just one or two times. This is literally every time he holds a rally. Is it really possible to correlate that with the polls that we're seeing? Supposedly, Biden's up by double digits nationwide and significantly in most of the competitive states. How do you reconcile that with a candidate who can't even get 10 people sometimes to show up to talk to him? And he had a rally there on the side of a freeway, I guess, and was literally talking to nobody at one point a few days ago. I don't think it's easily reconciled. You know, what I think is happening is this. I think the polls are being deliberately cooked in order to prepare people for election rigging. Essentially, and Bloomberg inadvertently sort of alluded to this, and I'm sure that he has a hand in those goings-ons. He's one of the big dudes. Bigger than Biden in some ways. He threw $100 million into Florida, and the other day Bernie Sanders was sitting there twisting himself in circles, worrying, I think, about Sheldon Adelson dumping a bunch of money into there. So, oh my God, the Republicans, we need to overturn Citizens United. But keep that money flowing, Mr. Bloomberg. Keep those millions coming. Pump them in all the competitive states. By the way, Trump, $100 million wall against him by Bloomberg, and I think he's still up several points in Florida. Dude, that's the pivotal 50-50 fucking state for election after election. If Trump's up by a couple points there, I think he's up by more than a couple points. I think he's up in Arizona. I think the polls are wrong. I think the polls are systemically being cooked. Essentially, the legacy firms are dumping phony numbers into these races in order to make it appear as though Trump is behind. You pair this with saying, well, on election night, it's going to look like Trump won in a landslide. But, oh, no, then all the rigged and the harvested ballots will come in, and everything will flip blue. Don't you smell a rat? Especially since in some of these states, winning by a large margin is winning by 100,000 votes. It's not hard to harvest that many ballots. We've got evidence of rigging. We've got evidence of voter fraud. We've had a million examples already. It's the era of decentralized content creation. It's no longer you have to rely on CNN to tell you what's going on in the political race. I can just go to Twitter. It's like with the riots. Well, white supremacists are causing violence, but these are mostly peaceful, so look the other way. No, I'll just go to Andy No's account. I'll watch a Tim Pool video. I can see 1,000 pieces of evidence that that's propagandistic bullshit. That it's a complete lie. It's like with the Hunter Biden emails. If I'm a TV viewer, unless I'm on Fox and therefore voting Trump anyway, I probably don't know what the hell's going on. I probably don't watch Steven Crowder. I don't know that Giuliani has inexplicably confirmed, through Hunter Biden's attorney asking for the stolen hard drives, or requisitioned hard drives, asking for that material back, thus accidentally disclosing the fact that it's real. I wouldn't know that, not unless I watch Steven Crowder or someone who analyzes him, like moi. Does Biden have a single fan? Now, some people are trying to make a different excuse. They're saying, well, yeah, it's true. Biden has no enthusiasm. But Trump will still lose because people hate Trump, so they're just voting against him. I find that real goddamn hard to believe that there would be that many people with Trump derangement syndrome. Despite the nonstop propaganda, it just doesn't make logistical sense, and when things don't make sense, it's often because they're not true. I think that the best fit for what we're seeing is an attempt by some of the legacy firms to cook the poll aggregates. And of course, they report preferentially on their own polls anyway, as opposed to like a Rasmussen or even a YouGov or something, which I think works with Yahoo, which is hysterical. The one usefulness for Yahoo is political polling, and actually one of the better firms at times, or Quinnipiac or something. They'll just release a lot of CNN, MSNBC, NBC, CBS polls, cook the numbers, drag the aggregate in order to justify the rigging that they will do. They're giving it a 5 to 10 point boost or something like that. Well, again, the idea that Biden's up in a place like Georgia or Ohio just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Not unless the world really has gone completely crazy. I can't believe... honestly, it's hard to envision a scenario in which a lean red state goes blue because of TDS when the opponent, the Democrat, is clearly insane and clearly corrupt beyond all recall. It's going to be interesting to see if in the next polling period there's a movement from these Hunter Biden emails. If they were being reported on, Biden would be crashing and burning right now. He'd already be sunk. He'd be done. He would probably have to drop his campaign and let Kamala do the last couple of weeks of campaigning. They'd probably have to delay the election or something. Oh my God, we got to print up new ballots with Kamala Harris's name at the top, and Joe can be the VP, or Michael Bloomberg is vice president or something. Of course, they're not. These billionaires all want Biden. And they're also the ones that would have to be counted on to fairly report on rigging, vote harvesting, voter intimidation, fraud, and so forth. Do you think that's going to happen? Are you going to get lots of good, fair reporting from CNN on the subject? They're completely uncoupled with the reality on the ground of the United States and indeed the entire world. No, I don't think Biden doesn't really seem to have fans. You'd think, oh, if you expect the dude who's always up 10 points in polls, he's going to be the next president of the United States. Don't you want to go and fucking watch him speak? Is he really that boring? Well, yeah, but at the same time, you'd think someone would show up. He's holding rallies. He's got like 50 people there. And what's the point? Setting up, taking 2 hours to set up the equipment and a security perimeter and pay all the staffers. Do you really think there's a return for him even holding those rallies? There's no point to it. It's an optics fail, number one. It's inefficient use of time, number two. He'd better off, at least when he does a digital stream, he can get 1,000 people to watch him. I mean, he struggles to hit Happy Homelands totals most of the time and gets blown out of the water by a Steven Crowder, but hey, it's better than nothing, right? It's a lot cheaper. Maybe it's because they keep having tech issues, like the NBC town hall with Trump where he blinked in and out of existence for the first 5 minutes. Maybe that's the problem. They're like, it's easier to just run the teleprompter, dude. Tell Joe what he has to say, and it's in big ass type, too. Like the kind that I would need if I had my glasses on or something, and he still struggles sometimes. The dude's out to lunch. What a weird election. What a weird year. That's about all. Peace out.